Can't hold no groove if you ain't got no pocket. You can't hold no groove if you can't make it dance.
Yo, Victor, whatsoever you do, I want you to remember this here.
Well, everybody's got to.
All you got to do is
Everybody's got to make it through. Everybody sing.
Standing in the front of room.
Hey everybody, the NFL season is in full swing and you might not be at the games this year, but you can still be in on the action at BetOnline. What's up, y'all? It's your man Lloyd Spence, and I am excited about all the things that's going on at betonline.ag. Some incredible lines this week. You got to go check them out. From the game spreads and the totals to team and player and coaching props, BetOnline gives you more options to wager than any place online. And there is always my favorite, the online casino as well, because it never closes. So head to betonline.ag today and take advantage of all the great sign-up bonuses. Again, that's betonline.ag and sign up today. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Tell them your man Lloyd sent you on over. Hey, y'all. I hope y'all are ready to make some noise. Kenyatta Spence, are you ready? Shake Anderson, are you ready? And Mr. Talking Noise himself, Lloyd Spence, are you ready? If you clicked on this podcast, then that must mean that you're ready for Talking Noise, the daily podcast. Well, if you're ready, then come on, let's make some noise. Break out the collard greens and fried chicken and all the good stuff, because we got a soul food buffet up in here today. Man, Talking Noise in the building, and we got a packed house, and it couldn't look any better if we tried.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Got Up Noise in the house. Up Noise, who says he's just glad to be on right now.
Man, I'm so elated to be here. You have no idea.
Well, I have a little bit of an idea. And then, of course, we got Mama Noise looking so delicious today. Just
all right.
Goodness. How you doing, baby girl? You all right?
I'm well. I'm well to be in the midst of all this wisdom.
That's all I'm saying. And then he couldn't help himself. He had to come back. Chuck Rainey is in the building.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to think he was here for me. But the reality is he's here for our very, very, very special guest, the master himself, Mr. Good People, Victor Wooten, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me here, you all.
It is our pleasure, man. It is our pleasure. We are so excited and elated to have you here with us. And shout out to all the noisemakers out there who are filing into the building as we speak. We love it. We appreciate you all so much. Listen, we got about 8 days left, everybody, to this election. 6 days to early voting in many states or most states. I hope you've already gotten your sticker. We're doing it for the sticker. Well, we're doing it for more than the sticker, but we definitely want you to get out there and vote. Vicky had a chance to vote. You and Chuck, you guys had a chance to vote yet?
Of course. Chuck sounds like he's muted now.
He's muted.
Is he muted? Let me unmute. There we go. Chuck, you had a chance to vote yet?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I did
That's
mine
what
earlier.
I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You were talking about wisdom, baby girl. This is what we're talking about. Wisdom said, let me get on out here and knock this on out.
Yeah.
Either that or my
Well,
wife kill me.
okay, so you did it under threat of violence. That's okay too, Chuck? That's okay too, especially if the violence is only in your house. Now, as long as it's only in your house, we good. We good with that.
Yeah.
We good with that. Well, that's awesome, man. Hopefully everybody's doing it safely and soundly. No issues, no problems. Just having the numbers are crazy right now. I don't know how true this is, but I thought I heard a number because I was talking to my 96-year-old grandmother last night. Shout out to Miss Anola.
Yeah.
But she said she listens to CNN every day. I don't know what she's obsessed with it, but she said she heard 60 million people have voted so far.
That's about right.
I think that's close. That's pretty. If it's not right on, it's definitely close. 60 million. That's crazy. It was 120 in the whole last election. 60 million, and we ain't got to November 3rd yet.
Wow.
I hope that means what I hope it means, but but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm excited again today to have Victor in the house. Vic, man, it's an honor and a privilege to have you here. And I've been in all our advertising, we've been advertising you as good people. So now I reveal to the people why that is. Because of Mama Wooten, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tell the people what Mama Wooten told you early on about being good people.
Yeah, well, mom and dad told us lots of things. But one of the main was when she told us 5 boys when we were kids playing music all the time. She would ask us a question. Mom would always like to ask questions because it makes you think on your own, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she would say, what does the world need with just another good musician?
Wow.
She said, we have plenty. She said, what the world needs are good people.
Mm.
And so those are some nice words to grow up with.
Well, you know what's funny about it, Vic, is that when I read that and heard that, I don't know if it's just the climate that we're in that hit me between the eyes or just the power of the quote itself. but that really resonated with me, man, because I'm going, man, if we just had more good people in the world, just that simple concept of stop trying to be a good politician or a good pastor or a good whatever, and just be good people. Let's just start with that foundation of that.
Lloyd, let me respond to that. Here's the thing. I believe that good person is in all of us.
Okay.
And I'm going to turn that around because I think it's my duty to see it. Because if you don't see it and then I don't see it, who's going to see it?
Great point.
So when you don't see it, I force myself to see it. Right?
Yeah.
If nothing else, but to remind you, that's not who you really are. You're really a good person. Here's another thing, not to turn this into religion, but I just got to quote my mom. My mom also said, God didn't make no mistakes. Okay. So how you really going to be that bad? Except you think you are, so you acted that you are. So somebody's got to remember.
Yeah.
And I put that upon myself. And I'm going to keep on you until you remember.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Keep on you until you remember.
Yeah.
I like that.
The good people are there.
Well, you know what? I agree, man. We're better than what I think we've shown maybe this year.
Yeah.
And we can do better than what I think we've shown this year. And hopefully that's what a lot of what we're seeing now is a response to that. There's people saying, okay, I'm looking, I've known this guy 15 years. He's not this bad, or that kind of mentality. So, so did you feel that way when Roy forced you into the base? Did he force you in, or you just kind of saw them doing it and you were like, okay, I got to jump into?
Yeah. Well,
that's your brother, right?
Yeah, Roy, Reggie, Rudy, Joseph. Well, they knew before me. And the same way you don't feel like anybody forced you to speak English.
That's right.
That's just before you even knew you were speaking it, right? I was learning music the same time and in the same way. So before I was born, my brothers already knew this is going to be the bass player. Because they needed a bass player.
They needed a bass player. That's amazing.
So, but for me, it was a blessing because every little sibling looks up to their older siblings. Right. Especially if you're a little boy, you look up to your older brother. Right? You're a little girl, you look up to your older sister. But you look up to your. And I'm lucky enough to have 4 older brothers. And this allowed me to belong. Like I got treated as an equal, not the little baby. I was an equal when we played.
Nice.
Right. And so they've always treated me that way. And so it didn't feel like force. Even if they did force me, I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
Because it's provided a great life. And I know Chuck and Shake know music, maybe more than anything else, brings people together.
Yeah.
Anything that's going to bring people together and make us forget about all our problems and all of our differences. In music, we actually celebrate our differences. We recognize and celebrate them. In other words, if I play bass, I'm not trying to be a flute. I'm not trying to be a saxophone. I know that I'm different, and that's what makes the band better, because all the instruments are different, not the same. So music recognizes that and celebrates it. So when we come together, it makes other people that are listening forget about their differences also, or either celebrate them, right? And so to have a tool like that brings people together, I want to be the best possible at it.
When you think about that statement you just made about bringing people together, and I'll throw this out to all of the bassists in this room right now. Me and Ms. NOIZ, we love all bassists, all things bass. Matter of fact, Wayman Tisdale was a theme of our wedding. That was like a theme of our wedding. We just played that thing all the way through the way to the end. But anyway, so we love bassists. We love all bassists. But when you think about that statement you just made about the way it influences or affects people, and I'll share this with everybody, what's one time you could think of where you were either playing your music or you're playing with somebody and you knew in this moment it affected somebody, either they came and told you afterwards or you had an experience that you knew this did something to somebody. This might have altered the course of somebody's life. We'll start with you, Vic.
Sure. I'll share two quick ones. One of them, we played. We were hired, the Bela Fleck and the Flecktones, right? The banjo player. So we get hired by the government, actually, the State Department.
Oh wow!
To go around the country, 7 different Asian countries, and we were like musical ambassadors. But one of the things that Bela Fleck was smart about is he reached out ahead to every country we went to, and he had them send us some of their national songs that everybody might know. Like over here, it might be America the Beautiful.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So we learned different songs for every country. We were playing in this for what they called a hill tribe. It was way in the outback of either Thailand or Indonesia, somewhere, but way out in the mountains. And they said there were 2,000 people that belonged to this tribe, and this tribe had never had a live concert before, and they were hoping, maybe 500 might show up. But all 2,000, the whole tribe was there. And Bela Fleck and the Flecktones, I know some of you know, is a strange, weird band, right?
Right.
My brother Roy with that weird drum guitar and a pirate hat and all this kind of stuff. So we're playing our music, and they're being polite. But when we went into their song, 2,000 people jumped up, dancing, singing.
Mm-hmm.
At that moment, there wasn't a band playing to an audience. There wasn't Americans playing to whatever, Indonesians or Thai. It wasn't Christianity and whatever else.
Yeah.
It was just one people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brought together by music. That was a conscious time that I said, whoa, this is what this is really about.
Wow.
Right. One other time, I'll keep this one short. In the early days of Bela Fleck and the Flecktones, the band was pretty much based off of Bela's bluegrass audience.
Right.
And most of that audience, not to sound racist or racial, is just what it was. Most of that audience was white. And so we were playing this one place in North Carolina, way out there. I won't even say the name of the place, but Bela told us, look, I know that basically he was saying, I don't know how this crowd is going to take to you and Roy, me and my brother, because our skin is a little bit different color than the audience was going to be.
Right.
And Bela actually told us, he said, I actually know there are some, Klan members that are going to be there.
Oh, wow.
You guys don't have to do this if you don't want. And my brother Roy said, look, music is more powerful than that. Let's play. And we played that gig, man. We made some of the best friends we've ever made. I still keep in touch with a lot of those people, and music made it work. So that was another time where I said, okay, music might have saved our lives today.
Wow. Wow. Literally.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's powerful.
Chuck, you and Unc ever had those kind of experiences?
Well, I've had some experiences, not quite like that. I got to confess one thing about hearing Victor say what he just said about his experiences. I've always been very private. Everything that I've done, and I'm saying this off the top of my head, but in playing music, no matter where I was always more interested in me feeling good and making the band feel good. Now, of course, I've noticed people on a lot of gigs that I've done, they do get into music, and I know that it all becomes one, and it feels real, real good. But my main thing about playing the bass was always to immerse myself into with other people and to feel good. Which when I play the bass, I feel very, very good. I feel at peace. I feel at ease. I'm very happy. And I know that later on in my career, recently, like the last 10 years or maybe 20, I've been told by a lot of people what the bands that I've been involved in, how it made them feel, and how the few bands I've been in, how it made them feel. And of course, I do know that if the band feels good and if I feel good, the people are feeling good, I've always looked at my playing for me to be satisfied, to feel good in playing the bass. I want to feel good. Of course, I want the band members to feel good. I want the audience to feel good. But I do know that when I'm feeling good, everybody's happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've always just felt that it may sound egotistical, but if I feel good about what's going on, I know that it's affecting everybody, not just me. I'm more or less looking, sounds kind of selfish, I think, but maybe not. Maybe somebody can reverse or reinvent these words that I'm trying to say. I hope you all understand what I'm saying.
No, actually,
Yeah, totally.
I love music.
yeah.
Even if I'm not playing. Ever since I was born, I have a great memory about some things, but I can go way, way back. I can go way, way back. And listening to music or to rhythm has always been a very personal thing, because every time I tried to talk about it when I was a baby or a kid to somebody else, they had no idea what I was talking about. They say, "NOIZ, that boy's crazy."
Yeah.
But in playing, I know that I want to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
If I know with Aretha, Marlena Shaw in particular, every time she counts off a song, or the band leader counts a song off, from no matter 2 seconds, I'm like a fat kid with cake. Because of what's going on, the way that I feel.
Yeah.
The way that I feel. You play with Aretha or you play with Marlena, and you can look in the first 2 rows.
Yeah.
And people are they're making me feel like I'm in heaven, because I'm in this particular thing, because they love what's going on. So I know that it does affect people, but I mainly feel so happy that Chuck is happy.
Well, first of all, Chuck, everybody loves cake, so let's start there. All right. But second of all, I get what you're saying, because that feeling and that energy that you have when you're in a good space is infectious. So when you project that as an artist, when you project that as a musician or singer or artist or singer, whatever, it's infectious. So everybody loves to see somebody having a good time, because then they start having a good time. It's kind of like when you smile at somebody. It's been proven time and time again that when you smile at somebody, it makes them automatically smile back. And so I think you're absolutely right. I think that's not selfish at all. I think that's just a great perspective and way to look at it. What about you? Have you had that same similar experience, or somewhere in the middle between Vic and Chuck?
Well, man, obviously you're talking about legends right now. I'm just a little guy that writes a few songs and sings them. But I can tell you this. One of the most important moments in my life involves Chuck's work. And that is, I was in North Korea, in Pyongyang. And they when we got there, we went there on this mission. We went there as a Christian organization. So we're going to take Jesus to North Korea. We're going to do, all this stuff, the hype that goes in. Well, we got there and they screened our music. And when they screened the music, they took out all the hymns, all the stuff that mentioned Jesus, all the Bible stuff.
Right.
And my portion of the show, my portion of the thing was to do Negro spirituals in America. Well, a lot of those you can get away with, wade in the water and stuff like that.
Right.
But the song we were in Pyongyang, which this was Kim Il-sung had just died. So Kim Jong-il was in power, not Kim Jong-un, who's in now, but Kim Jong-il, which is the son of Kim Il-sung. Well, we were there for their Spring Arts Festival. So they had a lot of different musicians from all over the world. And we played these huge amphitheaters. Now, mind you, it was all a show, because the country's in utter poverty, man. It was so bad. But I never will forget. We did similar to what Victor described. We did a bunch of songs, and they were they enjoyed it, whatever. I sang "What a Wonderful World," and my God, man, everybody there knew that song.
Wow.
Everybody. And by the second verse, they took it over. I didn't even have to. I didn't have to sing. I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But they literally took it over. That's when I knew the power of music. And for me, man, music has always kind of been my own religion. You know, not necessarily Christianity, not necessarily the other things I've studied, but music's been it because it's been the healing force. Yeah. It's been the very thing that's caused me to have good relationships, the very thing that's caused me to have friends, the very thing that's caused me to succeed in life. And even when I was sick, it was music. So for me, that was the moment. There's Pyongyang, 1998. What a wonderful world.
That goes to show you the power of a song. Marlena Shaw does a version of What a Wonderful World. The arrangement is just, there's no word I can put on it. And that every time we played it, it made me cry.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm easy to cry, but it was more or less not so much, yes, the words have something to do with it, but this particular arrangement. Sheikh, you and I mentioned that to you a couple of years ago, her arrangement.
Yeah.
But that the arrangement of that song is so out of this world. I mean, chills. I begin to sweat every time I play that song with her, that arrangement.
Wow.
You know, and so rather than words, my wife is into words.
Yeah.
I'm into words if the hook is strong, but it's the feel of the music.
Yes.
So like I was down here the other day, and Pete Erskine played Donny Hathaway's Little Girl.
Oh, yeah.
And I cried.
I love that.
Now I've learned how to explain my crying. My stroke helped bring it out.
Okay.
To be able to cry. But it's not the words, it's always the feel of something.
Yeah.
Precious memories.
Yeah.
Mary, don't you weep.
Yeah.
The feel of it just sends me into, and it's not a sad cry.
No.
It's just tears that I can't explain, but I don't mind, but I just accept it.
Vic, is there a song like that for you? Are there songs like that? Then you're on stage, you're playing them, and every time you hit that lick, every time you guys get in that groove, that's the one that gets you?
There's a few actually, and Chuck named some of them there. For whatever reason, I really love the song "Amazing Grace." Also, so without totally getting into a bunch of them, but I'll just throw that one in the mix.
Okay.
You played on an Amazing Grace project, right?
I did. I have to remember what the whole project was. I know I've done that song many times. But I think there was a whole project about that song, called "Amazing Grace" or something.
I thought I remember seeing you on a project called Amazing Grace at one time.
Still, yeah.
That's cool, man. You know, one thing about music that I think, and even now, I feel like it's really important for artists now that we've seen 2020 in all its splendor. I think now is a call for artists to really dive in a little bit deeper. And I'm really, really hoping. I know we got our WAPs and we're gonna have those and all that stuff. That's a part of it. But I also hope that young artists are looking at this time and saying, you know, we can be a catalyst for change. We can be a catalyst for healing. We can be a catalyst for influence in this time period. And Kieta, you talk about this a lot, about songs that impact you. How important do you think it is? And we can ask Vic as well, for music, for artists right now to be a catalyst for that kind of stuff, to influence the masses in a way that's a little bit different than just entertainment.
Who?
Go ahead, Chuck.
I was going to ask him who was he talking to. You know, like, I would say basically, yes, artists are doing that. All down through time, changes are made.
Yeah,
every disaster is met, and painters, musicians, they all adjust and they all reflect what they're seeing and what they're hearing. You know, so like yes, they will. So as an older crew that we're a part of, we can just about guarantee that the young artists will develop into that, because the artists, musicians, and visual art painters, that's what they do, and it's never changed. So they are doing it.
Yeah, very true. I don't know that it's something that an artist has to do. I mean, because for some people who do it well, there needs to be some people who aren't doing it at all. You know,
Yeah.
for those people to have room. But sometimes music might just be for you to get away from it all for a minute too.
Right.
You need that.
Yeah.
But you know, to me, these times are what they are to us, because you know, at least for me at my age, this is all I know, especially my kids. This is their whatever, civil rights or their pandemic or whatever. But if my parents were alive, and Chuck at least knows my mom, if they were alive, my mom would probably be laughing at us, talking about what, this is a pandemic, and you get to stay home and watch Netflix and complain about all of it on internet,
Right.
you know. Like, you know, what they went through, what our parents and their parents went through was real. You know, I mean, you know, my dad, I mean, literally fighting in the war and fighting for a country that wasn't fighting for him. And, you know, we all remember what Muhammad Ali was talking about. He's like, I'm not even going, you know, my enemies are here. You know, that's what he was saying. So for me, this is just me. When I look at what my parents went through and then what their parents went through and so on, it's a whole lot better. It really is. And to say it's not would be a disgrace to the fight that they did for us, right? All that fighting, Martin Luther King died. They made it better for us. The fact that we can sit here and talk openly like this, there are still countries today that you can't have this conversation publicly. So what that fight they had, you know, years ago, hundreds of years ago, 50 years ago, 10 years ago, is doing some good.
Yeah.
And so the fight is not over. And right now, I think that kettle is getting stirred up so we can see the dirt that's been settled. It hadn't gone away. We're seeing it now. Let's just know that, okay, we got some more work to do. We can't fall asleep. Mm-hmm. So back to that question, yes, there are people always that are doing music that's talking about stuff. I did a camp recently, an online camp, and there was a person talking about, you know, we don't have protest songs anymore. We need, and I'm like, you just ain't listening to the right stuff.
Right.
That song, you know, it's just about, at least, you know, there was an era where almost every rap song was a protest song, you know, F the police or whatever it was. Whether you liked it or not, a lot of music is talking about it, you know. Even a lot of gospel stuff, you know, is just a way to make me forget what's really going on. So the music's there, but I guess the simple question is no, I don't think all musicians have that duty. You know,
I think that especially as a songwriter, man, you write what's in your heart. You write what's close to you. And then the idea is to do it well so that people hear it. And the change comes through healing. Change comes through people hearing your music and going, man, that, you know, for whatever reason, I was able to be in your presence for a little while and forget about all the junk that's going on in my life. And that's a big part of the change. One of the things I love about some of my favorite writers is they were just writing what was in their conscience. So a lot of times it was, you know, if Curtis Mayfield, for Every People Get Ready, he wrote Say It's All Right, which is just a good time party song. So it's you have to consider the artist and then consider what their messaging is and the climate they're in, and just hopefully they end up being the greatest whatever artist they can be or whatever. Because if you put the pressure of I've got to speak for this, then it taints the process, man. It just totally jacks it up.
Right.
But if that's what they're feeling, you know, Bob Dylan, blowing in the wind, man. You know, to me, it's not that songs aren't being written. They might not be being sung as much, but there's probably a million protest songs out there if you really pay attention, because everything takes you to somewhere.
Yeah. Shout out to all the noisemakers coming in. We got some of our usuals, LeBaron from Popcorn World. I don't know if you and Chuck eat popcorn, Victor, but LeBaron Burton is the master of popcorn.
Yes.
That's who we rocks with. That's our dude. So make sure we'll have to send you get you the link so y'all can go check out what he got to do. Got 400 flavors of popcorn. I'm just saying.
And he's a bass guitarist.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I like rocking with people that's rocking with our people. So there you go.
I love popcorn. I love popcorn.
We got to get you some popcorn, brother. That way you won't have to be the fat kid that loves steak, but you can be the fat kid that loves popcorn. There you go. We got Byron Lusby coming through. Appreciate you, man. Erica Jackson, all the noisemakers tuning in today. We appreciate all of you guys. Kieta, when you think about music, what's a song that influenced you that right now during these times right now we listen to it? I'm gonna ask this to everybody, but I'm gonna start with the business. What's a song that gets you through right now? What's a song that's getting you through?
Well, it's a gospel song called "Touch the Hem of His Garment."
Okay.
Which version?
Sample? It's a live version on YouTube by William McDowell. Okay. And he doesn't sing it. It's like he's doing a live concert, but it's like a young lady that's a part of, I guess, his ministry. And I've never heard of her before, and they don't mention her name, they just mention his name, but it helps. It really does help me be hopeful. And I love bass. Bass is all in my, it's like all the time I would get in trouble as a youth because of loud music. I don't know if I wasn't even paying attention to the words. The words ain't why I listen to it. I listen to it for the bass line.
Okay. All black people are guilty of that.
I mean, my neighbor.
I'm guilty.
You're guilty too? See, I mean, my neighbor across the street, I know when he gets home every day because I hear the bass before he gets here. It's like, I think he cracked the window shield of his truck because his bass, I can hear it in my bedroom in the house. And it's like, well, we know that our neighbors are home. I mean, it's matter of fact, I think I've blown the speaker on the TV because I'm trying to turn the bass up. So,
well, the reason why I asked that question, and I'm asking that question to everybody, is because, and I completely agree with Victor that our level of suffering that we're calling suffering is nothing compared to what our parents went through. I mean, absolutely nothing. It's not even close. Mm-hmm. However, I don't ever want to discredit anyone's level of suffering because we all go through what we go through, and so their music has played a pivotal part in a lot of our getting through. Just being able to find that right song. Here's Byron saying "Just for Me" by Kirk Franklin. For him, is that song. My daughter saying "Praise Him Through the Night," Fred Hammond, and it's in the gospel show, but it's nice to see people saying that they lean on their faith or they lean on that one song. For me, it's a lot of different songs. There's a lot of different stuff that I go to depending on the mood that I'm in. Like I might be in one of the moods where I need the hip hop out, so I'll throw on some or I'll throw on some rock hymn or whatever. But then when I'm going through my jazz moment, I do throw on Vic, I do throw on Wayman, I throw on different stuff like that. And so it just depends on where I'm at and what I'm feeling in that moment. But I think music does play that role of transition through emotion, through hard times. Vic, you got your thumbs up. Talk to me.
Absolutely. Again, music is sort of like a release.
Yeah.
you know, and music is more than just what we do as humans. Like for me right now, because I tour so much, when I'm off the road finally, you know, I hadn't been really listening to a whole lot of what we call music.
Right.
But to me, this is my chance. I get to hear my kids waking up in the morning. I get to sit lit, and I'm being little, not, you know, I'm not even trying to be cool. This is for real. I get to sit at the dinner table with them.
Yeah.
Every night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I get to sit on my porch. You know, we got a screened-in porch, bird feeders out there, listening to the birds. You know,
Yeah.
to me, that's music too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I don't get to hear enough.
Wow.
You know, I get to hear a lot of bass, but for me, I got to think of what music is really about, and music is really about life. And this is a chance for me to live life, so that the next time you hear me play music, you're going to feel it more, because I've been able to get away from it and refuel with what music's really about. And so that's where I'm at the moment. So I haven't been doing a whole lot of listening, not for the purpose of listening. You know, of course, I've had to work on some music for different people and always working on stuff. But because I do it so much, I'm using this time to really get away and listening to some other sounds that inspire my music.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that.
Beautifully put, because that's been me all my life. Like this pandemic has been, I wanted to say wonderful, but I shouldn't say that. I don't want to say that, but I get a chance to sit on my porch and look at the buzzards. We got a pet possum that's in the yard, although he don't know he's a pet. But I get a chance to see, like now, the top of the tree in front of my house is turning a beautiful golden yellow and orange.
Yeah.
She's going to just take my breath away. I'm satisfied. You know, I get a chance to hear the birds. I get a chance to hear the wind. And basically that's been me, because I don't go out much anymore. Shit could tell you that. You got to throw a noose around my neck to get me out.
Yeah.
But you know, I enjoy what it does, because like Victor said, it's all music. You know, the squirrel running across my deck is a rhythm.
Yeah.
And once he's gone, it stays with me. There's a little rhythm there that I think about, you know. I love listening to the wind blow through the trees, always have, you know, to an occasional dog bark. Even the dog that lives behind me, 2 houses down behind me, it's a pain in the butt, but his barking is a rhythm. It doesn't bother me. It does not disturb me at all. I don't know if I'm talking on what you just asked, but
oh, you're hitting it, brother. You are hitting it.
I do agree with Victor. Like so much staying at home, my new grandbaby, you know, like it brings so much joy to me, because I'm happy, I'm satisfied. And like I tell my boys, I said, you know, like before you can make somebody else happy, you got to be happy.
Yeah.
You got to be secure.
Yeah.
You know, so the pandemic is not bothering me at all. I say that off the top of my head, because it's really not. I'm going to stay at home anyway.
You know what's interesting about what you just said, Chuck, and I know a lot of people are hesitant to say that, because a lot of people feel that way. They're saying, yeah, I know we're in the pandemic and unfortunately lives have been lost, but there is a part of this that has really been good, because I have slowed down. I have had an opportunity to spend more time with my kids and my family. Listen, that to me is part of the master blessing of all of this. Like I have enjoyed the time that I've spent with my daughters, and even with my wife. Us building this business now together it's been so much fun, which I did not expect. I'll be honest with you, because we've never worked together like that. And so our home has always been the place to get away from all that kind of stuff. And so when you say, well, we're going to start a business and we're going to work together, well, you know, I don't know how that's going to go, but you know, because we're together now all day, every day. But it's been beautiful. It's been so beautiful. And I appreciate that. And even that, to you and Vic's point, has been a beautiful rhythm, a beautiful music that we've created in this house. And we bob around here like we got headphones on, but it's just the music and the instrumentation of our love and our affection for one another. Uncle, you getting a lot of that in your house, man?
Well, I'll say it this way. For me, there is a song.
Yeah.
And I agree with everything Vic and Chuck said wholeheartedly. But for me, there is a song. And the reason it's so important to me is because of where it became important in my life. Everybody on this panel knows I spent a lot of time in the hospital, sick. And when I got out of the hospital, I had to go to rehab to learn how to function again, how to walk, how to even play bass, how to breathe, eat, everything. I had to learn all of that.
Yeah.
But there's a song, man, for whatever reason, man, it became it's and I did not like the group, but it's a song by a group called U2. The song is called Stuck in the Moment.
Mm.
And it says, you've got to get yourself together. You got stuck in the moment and you can't get out of it. Don't say that later will be better. You got stuck in the moment and you can't get out of it. It's about taking one step at a time. So it's like learning that bass pattern that Vic put down that frustrated the heck out of me trying to figure out what he was doing. All I could do is slow the record down and just, one note at a time. But that song meant so much to me. And it's one of my favorite songs, period, even right now. Now, Hello, Little Girl, that Chuck played on with Donnie, is easily my favorite bass pattern because of the chords he plays on it. And so that's my kind of my go-to. But one other thing I want to say, Vic, I don't know if you remember this. I don't remember where we were playing, but you said to me, we were playing somewhere, and you said to me, we were talking about something, dark days and stuff like that. You said, Shake, there's a lot more love in the world than there is hate. There's a lot more people in the world that love than there are people that are hate or full of evil. You remember saying that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that came from when you said that. It wasn't long after that I started writing one of the songs that we used to do live all the time. And but it was specifically because I think because of what I'd gone through physically and emotionally, and then what I was seeing kind of on the horizon as far as the climate, I think I was falling into that place where I thought the world's starting to be this real dark place. And it's, sometimes you're a product of what you're around. So if you're around a bunch of negative people or mean spirits or whatever, it starts to affect you. But I remember you saying that, and it changed everything.
Good. That's what my parents pointed out to us as kids. It's like life is sort of like a camera. We can only experience life through our own camera lens.
Right.
And if our camera lens is dirty, you're going to see dirty pictures. Right.
Wow.
And I can try to get all the dirt off of you, or I can try to get the dirt off the flowers that I'm taking pictures of.
Yeah.
But it's the lens that's got to be clean.
Good.
Right. So for me, when life gets down and bad, I realize this is pointing at me. Right. It's literally, that's why I say when it rains, it pours. Because when you start to see it, you're going to see it. You're going to see more of it. So it's like someone who doesn't like this song. We blame the song. It's you that don't like it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a great point. That is a great point.
But think about it. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
Right? It's not clever. It's just the truth. We're making the judgments. And as Shake said, you can't give what you don't have.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? So when we give that judgment, we're talking about ourselves. Right? So that's a good point for me. How I see my day, how I see you points back at me.
Wow.
I realize, wow, I got to watch this. Because everything my wife doing today is making me upset. Right? And it's so easy for me to blame her. But you got to ask the question, wait, who's upset? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Me, it's my issue. Now, it doesn't mean we need, that we don't need to fix stuff,
Right.
right? It doesn't mean that. Like, we need to fix it.
Yeah.
But this may sound weird, but the thing is that even what we call hate or whatever, in most cases, if not all cases, we hate one thing because we love another thing.
Yeah.
In a sense, even hate points back to love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, we may be misguided and we're going too much to the hate side or whatever. But for me, I'm still with it, with that Shake. There's much more love everywhere in people, and a lot of times that's why we can be so hateful. It's because I'm defending something that I love, right? Like,
Right.
somebody come and mess with your kids,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're gonna get hateful,
Yeah, very.
right? And you have every right to. So there's a reason, there's a rhyme for it also. But I do believe it all points back to love. That's my thought on it.
Well, Vic, I'm gonna piggyback on what something you just asked. 'Cause I want to ask you this question because one of the things that fascinates me about you is your love for young artists coming up and musicians coming up. And some people say they love young artists and they're like, oh yeah, I love the young generation, da 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 da. But you have gone above and beyond to demonstrate that with the camp, with the investment in all that's going on. Man, that is so crazy to me that you got these acres of land that you've invested in and you're running these camps year in and year out. Talk a little bit about that so people can understand. Man, you're not just a person that says I love you and then there's no investment, but that you live. This is really how you live your life.
Well, it is, and I do that because people did it for me. And I had my family doing it for me. My brothers really taught me music. They also taught me how to live. My 4 older brothers were like 4 extra parents. I already had 2 wonderful parents, right? And I literally wanted people to have what I had growing up.
Right.
So I knew that what would bring people to me would be music. So I started a music camp. But whether the students become good musicians, I don't know that I really care. But the real idea of the camp is about good people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And music is a good way to do it. But once you're at the camp, it's like, we got you. And,
I love it.
And Chuck knows, my mom was at every camp until she died, weeks before she died.
Wow.
She knew she was dying. She came to the camp one more time.
Wow.
And that's how I really became close with Chuck, because our very first music camp back in 2000 was the first one. We always have surprise guests. There's people you didn't know were going to show up, and it could be anybody.
Yeah.
Well, Chuck was our first surprise guest. And Chuck, correct me where I'm wrong here, but once Chuck came, what I remember is Chuck said, look, I love what you guys are doing. I would love to be at every one if you'll have me. And we were like, we will have you. And literally, Chuck has been there every year, even when he had his stroke. He came with his wife he was on a cane on the dance floor. Chuck could barely walk, but he was out there dancing.
Wow. Wow.
So, the camp has been so good, but it really, for me, came down to wanting people to have what I had growing up. It was my youth was so good because it wasn't always easy. Because my parents had struggled and were continuing to struggle. Because they struggled, they knew what was real. They knew what life was really about, nothing superficial. And that's what they taught us. And that's what I wanted to share with people also. And of course, we do a whole lot of music. We do a lot of music, but music is a great way of teaching qualities of life. Yeah. And I mentioned one before, how in music we recognize our differences, right? A band is better because all the instruments are different, not the same.
Yeah.
Right? We tune before we play, which means we make an agreement even before we play. Right? I don't even know what to play until I listen to you. Right? When the band works together, nobody's trying to win. Right? Nobody wins unless we all win. Right? So it's unity, it's together. And even the listeners that come are there for you. The people who don't like you didn't come. Right? Powerful. It's not like sports where half the people have to lose. Everybody wins. You know, so I don't know many things like that. So music is powerful. And so because as a musician, everybody that comes to hear you or see you is there open, spiritually, physically, audibly open to whatever you have to offer. Think about that. They, you know, I mean, the audience is high-fiving strangers if you do something good, whatever. They're open.
Yeah.
So with that, for me, comes an opportunity and a responsibility.
Yeah.
Right.
That's really good.
Yeah. I just want to do the best with that possible.
Yeah.
And that's where the camp came out of that.
I love it, man. Listen, I think that's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. And matter of fact, my wife and I just started a foundation. You just gave me some great things to think about in regards to that. So I'm going to file those away. We got a couple of questions coming in from our chat. So let's pull those up. Ben Griffiths asked, with so much innovation on the bass for the last 50 plus years, where do you think it goes from here? What do you guys think?
And just turn on YouTube. And you'll see it. Literally, there's some things that people are doing now, and they're getting younger and younger. Right? I tell you to go to Instagram and look up a little kid named Aaron, Aron, Aaron the bassist.
I think I saw that kid. Yeah.
Man, this dude is like 8, 9 years old from Slovakia. What they know about funk and groove in Slovakia? Man, this kid grooves harder on the bass than most adults that I know, including me. I don't know where he got it from, way over there on that part of the world. But you know, it lets you know that music is in good hands. Is, you know, the opportunity, the possibilities of where it's going is already evident. You can see it.
Chuck, you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It keeps going on and on and on. It's just that we sometimes, unless you're looking, there's always a hint of what tomorrow's going to be.
Yeah.
If you just sort of look, and with today's information circuit, you can see where it's going to go. Of course, when you get up in age, when you get out of a certain habit of listening to music, you sort of lose contact of what's really being done. You know, my mother and my father didn't know what was going on. They started hearing, you know, the stuff I was playing.
Yeah.
They came out of another era.
Right.
You know, so I agree with what he said 100%.
We got a question from LeBaron. He said, I think I know the answer, but would you guys rather have a musician that can play anything or a musician that can make you feel anything?
Maya Angelou said, and I'm sure you heard it, right? People won't remember what you said. People won't remember what you did, but they always remember how you made them feel.
That's right.
Right? People aren't listening to notes. They don't care. They don't get up and dance because the song's in E flat, right? They dance to a feel. Right? Yeah, it is a feel. Now all the notes and technique and instruments, that's all included, but people want to feel something. And for all of us musicians out there that play live, we need to remember that, because people can hear good music at home for free.
Come on here, sir.
Right. So why am I going to pay to come see you live? So when they come live, we need to bring something more than just what they hear.
Yes.
Right. And if we make them feel something, they will go home and buy more stuff that they can hear.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, and I see it in the jazz world a lot, jazz and classical, we're losing our audiences because we just play. No, nothing to feel. They forgot that jazz used to be an experience.
Right.
Like Cab Calloway, Louis Armstrong. These people were performing, right? People were dancing at the shows and stuff, right? And then jazz became cool, and we don't smile or nothing.
Right.
So what people feel, right, doesn't really make you want to continue feeling that. It's boring. But it might sound good, but sound is not enough when you're live.
Yeah.
It'd be in the same room, not looking at each other, right? You don't feel that, but we're on cameras looking at each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, I'm talking too much, but
you're doing good, Vic. You're doing good, man.
It's about the feel.
Yeah.
You are absolutely correct. When you said that, I start thinking of I thought of a song that Shake sang called "The Stain."
Oh yeah.
And every time it sends chills over my body. My mind is like a film showing different frames of trying to visualize what he's singing about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way it makes me feel.
Yeah. And when you feel it, you don't have to know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
it could be in another language. It could be an instrumental song.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a painting. You know, you don't have to know, but that feeling comes through. And so I think when we can be honest with what we do, more feeling comes through. You know,
I think you're right. I'm thinking of plenty of songs I've heard in other languages, and I don't know what they're talking about.
James,
but I'm like, man, he is passionate about whatever it is he's saying.
What is he saying? Yeah.
I got some James Brown songs. I still don't know what he's saying.
That is so true.
Yeah.
That reminds me of New Orleans too. A lot of New Orleans songs.
Yeah, yeah.
He was slamming, but I have no idea what the words are.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking, Vic, when you were talking, my oldest boy and my granddaughter, and one of my oldest granddaughter, both went to FAMU, Florida A&M. They went to Marching 100. Now, the HBC bands are all show bands, basically.
Right.
And, of course, having a son there 4 years and my granddaughter, she was there 5 years, and they were both in the band. Now, that means that I've seen a lot of HBC bands. I've seen them all. Being by FAMU hat on, Marching 100, I've seen them all. And one thing about it, when you go and see the Battle of the Bands, or even when I look at it, the little tapes that they have, outside of it, when you go there personally, very few people are looking on the football field. Of course, you look, but they're all dancing. It's the feel. It's the feel of the drum cages. It's the feel. You know, Southern, you know, Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah.
I mean, when they come on the field, you don't have to look at it.
Yeah.
Now, of course, they got great uniforms, but it's all if you close your eyes, you see people in the stand doing what they do. They, very seldom paying attention to the physical aspect of what's there. It's the feel.
Yeah.
It's a feel. I used to think about drum. There are a lot of complicated drum patterns that marching bands and drum corps use. FAMU is a simple drum cadence, but it's just the way those 25 drummers feel and playing it. A very simple cadence, So, like, I've always been, like I said earlier, I want to feel good. If I feel good, I think that what's coming through me is good. It's God sent.
Yeah.
I want to feel good. And when I feel good, everybody's feeling good. When I don't feel good, there's something going on that's happening. That's the way I see myself, feel.
Yeah.
Feeling. It's like when you pet your dog or hug your grandbaby or hug your wife, or hug a good friend that you haven't seen for a while.
Yeah.
No matter what they look like, what they smell like, it's a feel.
Yeah. That's good, Chuck. That's good.
See, Victor started that feeling.
Yeah, now he got us all feeling good.
That's what it's about. A good preacher knows that too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You don't just say the word; they make you feel the word.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the downside of it is politicians know it too.
Oh yeah.
Because fear is a powerful thing, and so they can make us fearful about something, and with their promise that we're going to fix it so you don't have to be fearful. And in many cases, there's things we don't need to be fearful about.
Right. And you know what's funny about that? 90% of the stuff that we're fearful about never comes to pass.
And that's the thing. Okay, think about this. Fear means it hadn't happened yet.
Right.
Right. So fear's in my mind, fear's like that yellow light in the car that comes on, tells you you're about to run out of gas.
Right.
Yeah.
The light don't come on after you run out of gas.
Yeah.
Fear is a people say get rid of fear, and that's something you never want to do. Right? You never want to unhook the wire that tells that yellow light to come on, you're about to run out of gas.
Yeah.
Right? Fear is that natural God-given warning signal that says you have time to do something about it.
Yeah. Preach.
This is true. You don't have much time. You may not,
Right.
but the fact that you can be fearful means you have time.
Yeah.
So you never want to get rid of it. Right?
That's good.
So the fear is a good thing. Used the right way. Used the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what can be done to us and is being done to us in many cases. So we have to be truthful to what we are fearful about. Right? But the main thing is to realize that what you're fearing hasn't happened yet.
That's good. We got a question in the chat. Byron said, Mr. Wooten, if you don't mind, does he have any advice for an old guy like me who wants to take up the bass? What would be your advice to somebody coming to the bass maybe a little later than they anticipated?
Take it up.
I'll keep it short.
Yeah.
Music is about life. Music is not about music. And an old person has lived more life than any young beginner. Right? Somebody posted a link for Aaron the bassist. Aaron's a good bass player, but if he was going to write an autobiography, I wouldn't read it.
Right.
At 8 years old, 9 years old. But this man, if he writes a book, or this man, woman, whatever, with some age, I'm reading that book. So if you learn to play music and put your story in music, I'm listening to it. Because you got however many years, decades of life in every note you play. And bass is the easiest instrument that you can get good enough to make music on. Think about it. Bass is it's designed to be one note at a time. Right? It's not like guitar, 6-string chords. It's not drums, 4 limbs. It's not piano, 10 fingers. It's not like sax. You got to have a reed and an embouchure. One note at a time. Right? And the bass is designed to make other people sound better. Right?
Yeah.
Bass is an instrument of service.
Right.
Right? So if a gentleman takes all these years of life and puts it into one note, right? That's what B.B. King did. B.B. King don't know a lot of theory and play all these licks. He plays the same licks, but he puts his whole life in every note. Bob Dylan, can he even really sing? Who knows? But every word he says has his whole life in it. Willie Nelson. How many chords does Willie Nelson know on the guitar? Who cares? If he plays one, I'm listening. Right? So if this person learns to put his whole life into what he says on the bass, in the same way, if what you say out of your mouth. We all know that when old folks, what we call old folks, they don't have to say much. But when they do, we stop and listen, right? You can play music from that standpoint, and he's already got the 90% of what music is about or should be about. He's already lived it.
Wow.
Now you just got to learn a couple of notes.
Now you got to learn a couple of notes. That's good. LeBaron said he's seen some of these guys turn a 6-string into a guitar and work miracles. Then you get that quartet player hit the drive that won't let you keep your feet.
Yeah.
And that's what you're talking about. Maybe that guy is sitting there and he's grooving and he's thinking about his pain, or he's thinking about his promises, and he's thinking about, and he got a smile on his face or joy in his heart. He's like, I need y'all to feel this joy that I'm feeling. And that's why I was saying with Chuck, you were right on, man. When you feel good, we're gonna feel what you feel, and that is such an important part. Because the truth of the matter is, I bought my ticket to feel good,
Yeah.
Most people don't go buy their ticket to sit in an audience and be like, wow, I'm really miserable and I hope this guy makes me feel worse. You know what I'm saying? So you want that transformation, you want that connection of human spirit and joy and excitement so that you can transcend everything that you're going through and all the problems that you may be having at home that you got to go face. Because life doesn't stop happening just because we're listening to a great song. But we can get through life aided by a great song.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Man, you guys, this is an incredible time. I'm having so much fun. Chuck, I got to ask you this question because you're on here. What was the thing that impressed you most? Because I like to give people their flowers while they're here. So what was the thing that impressed you most about Vic that connected you to him in such a way?
I think right off the top of my head, it was I saw a very kind person. And I'm not blowing smoke, but Benny Gold.
It's okay.
like when I first met Vic, it's just somebody you like. I just liked him.
Mm.
Of course, once I heard him play, can I tell a quick story?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
The first time I saw Vic was on TV, and Bela Fleck was playing on the Tonight Show or the Johnny Carson Show, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And Vic, I know you've heard this story before, but you can listen to it again.
Yeah.
My son said, "Dad, come check out this bass player." And so, of course, usually he was of an age that that I might be interested. So when I didn't see Vic doing anything, so I went. He was listening to the music. Will was listening to the music, and a banjo is something that is not synonymous to a band, basically.
Right.
And he heard a drummer. Oh, what it was. This is what it was. He heard a drummer, but he didn't see one. And so, like he kind of said, "Dad, this must be piped in." Blah blah. So I went. It was Bela Fleck and the Flecktones. Now, in watching this show, Vic, when he took his solo, he slung the bass around his neck.
Oh,
and caught it.
Yes.
Now, many years ago, I'm in Sweden on stage with the Manhattan Parade of '65, Manhattan Parade of '63. And we were there for 6 weeks. And I must have seen somebody do this. But anyway, I practiced for about half the tour, 3 weeks in my hotel room about playing and swinging the bass drum.
Oh, no.
During my solo.
Okay.
So one night, I thought maybe now I could pull it off. I practiced it. I knew what was going on. So when it came time for my solo, I played a little bit. I slung the bass around my neck. When the bass got right here, the strap broke.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
This was a very large audience. Now, I wouldn't say there was 10,000 people, but it was thousands of people. And the bass broke, the strap broke, and the bass went sliding across the stage. And of course, when it hit the ground, you can hear all the strings ringing. I'm a million miles from home. I only have one bass. And I stood there dumbfounded while the guys in the band laughed at me. They were laughing. Of course, the band leader was shocked, and I could see the first 2 or 3 rows of people sort of going laughing in a way. So all I did, I went and stopped the bass from ringing. I went and picked it up and looked at it, and the G tuning, the one of the tuners was just bent a little bit.
Okay.
And then the bass was perfect. And after about a minute and a half of this kind of interruption, I was able to play the bass. That bass, the tuning key stayed bent until maybe 2 years ago.
Oh, wow. Was that your way of reminding yourself to never twirl the bass around your neck again?
Wow.
But I had to tell that story. I told that story.
Man, great story.
You know, but I didn't. There's a reason why he does it better than I would even attempt to do. He's probably done it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
You know, plus my arms are long and I wear my bass a little low, so it takes that bass a little bit more long.
Yeah.
Get around.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this. I saw you do that in concert, and I'm still mentally trying to figure out how you did it. Like I was like, okay, but he stayed on beat though. I don't understand how he stayed on beat. Like I get how he twirled around his neck, but how did he do it and stay on beat? That was what was throwing me off more than anything. Like that's incredible. But I'm gonna tell you, for me, my introduction to you was this. And Shake, I'd love for you to answer this question as well. I had a friend of mine in college that was working. He had left college early, was working in the music industry in Nashville. So I went to go visit him, and he said, "Dude, I just left this industry party. This guy, this bass is the greatest bass I've ever seen." I said, "Really? The greatest you've ever seen?" He said, "Yeah, the greatest I've ever seen. Is not even close." I said, "Man, that's a strong statement." And so he said, "You gotta listen to this CD." And so it was. I don't know if it was a promotional CD or the full album, but it had "You Can't Hold No Groove" on it. And so I put it in, and I'm sitting there going, what just happened? Like, what is happening? It's all these wonderful things going on. And I'm going, what is happening? So I probably listened to that CD the rest of that day, trying to figure out what you were doing and how you were doing it. And then finally I said, I'm not going to do that no more. I'm just going to rest in the fact that you can't hold no groove if you ain't got no pocket. Just leave it.
Guys,
I've been a fan ever since, man.
guys, let me interrupt you for a second.
Sure.
I've got a 12:30 webinar, and it's going to be that in about maybe 20 minutes.
Okay.
And I got to go to the little boy's room.
By the way, I'm keeping this on the podcast, by the way. Everybody. I'm not editing that out, Chuck. I'm just letting you know. Thank you for stopping through, but say what you need to say to Vic before you go, man.
I'm gonna have to leave.
Okay.
I gotta get ready. I'm supposed to maybe try this to go on a little bit early.
Okay.
With her. Sam, it's good to see you. It's good to see you again. Well, thanks a lot. Thank you guys for inviting me.
You know we love you, Chuck. You know we love you.
Oh, yeah, it's good to see you. Vic just left here.
Yeah, I didn't tell nobody. I came in and out of Texas.
I sure did. Just left here.
I was in just for a few hours. I had to record Chuck's voice. I drove in, recorded his voice, and drove right back home.
Now, that's what you call.
Wow.
Y'all figure out the word for that.
That's
a drive.
Vic is just good people, man. I mean, we figured it out. He's just good people.
Well, listen, I gotta go, y'all.
All right, buddy.
Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, this is our pleasure.
Love you, man.
We love you.
I love you too. Y'all take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
We actually got about 13 minutes left in the show ourselves. Shout out to I hope I don't jack this name up. I apologize if I do, but Subrata.
Subrata, yeah.
Yeah, from Kolkata, India. Shout out to Subrata.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Showing us some love in India. I like that.
Victor's gonna have me going around saying, they just good people.
That's
good people, man.
That's it.
I'll tell you. So, how did you and Chuck hook up? How did you and Vic hook up?
I was signed to Warner Chappell, living in Nashville, and I had a band that was called Domani. And Vic was playing with Jonel Mosser. What's it called? Too Much Rope or something like that, right?
Enough Rope, yeah.
Jonel Mosser and Enough Rope. And we opened for you guys at the Ace of Clubs.
Wow.
And you guys were playing I knew the organ player in the band. Is it Johnny? Wow. We're talking what, 98?
At the latest, it could have been 88.
Yeah, 88.
I think it was 88.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow.
And so anyway, the guy that played drums in our band said, "Man, you got to see this bass player playing with Jonelle. Now, Jonelle's from Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
So I've known her a long time. And so he, I don't even remember the song. I just remember she featured you in the middle of the thing. And I didn't know you could do that on a blues gig. Because Jonelle did a lot of music, but, it was for all intents and purposes, she was regarded kind of as a country blues artist.
Mm-hmm.
And here you come breaking all the rules. And we had a conversation that night about Abraham Laboriel.
Oh, wow.
And I'm sure you wouldn't remember that because that's how long ago it was. But that was the first time we met.
Wow.
And then I got to know your brother, Reggie.
Okay.
Matter of fact, Reggie ended up, when I went solo, he played with me a few times. And then one of your best friends at the time was also one of my best friends, JD Blair.
JD, yeah.
So so I don't remember, the years just kind of all run together as far as when we were around each other or whatever. But I just always knew I loved Reggie, and I'd always wanted to work with you. But it was always weird because I was a bass player, you're a bass player.
Hmm.
So when I started doing the solo stuff more, that's when we got the opportunity to start doing some stuff together.
Yeah.
I didn't want to miss a question from Corey. I apologize, Corey. I didn't get this in, but
Corey.
he did ask when the Victor Wooten, Shake Anderson, Chuck Rainey project was coming. So, so I thought I'd throw that out at you, gentlemen. I can dream, Corey. I'm dreaming with you, bro. I got you.
Tell Corey we might have to make it a quartet.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, listen, Corey is an amazing bassist in his own right.
Amazing.
Yeah. No, he definitely can get down with that crew.
And he's good people.
He's good people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That needs to be a t-shirt.
I'm telling you.
People.
You know what? We might do that, Vic. We might get with you, man, and do a good people t-shirt and some of that. Send half the money to your camp if you don't mind.
You can send all the money to them.
How do you want to do it, brother?
No, I'm kidding with you. No, do it, man. Do it. And put it towards your business.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah.
And it is so amazing to me. And one of the goals of this show is to bring on people not who are and I hope this doesn't come off the wrong way, but I want musicians that can speak.
Yeah.
More than just vertically, but we can speak across platforms and really inspire people. And I think that's what we've strived to do since we started the show. And we have people like Chuck Rainey and Taylor Pace and Unc himself, and now you, Vic. That I think we're headed in the right direction. And so I'm really excited about what we're doing here today.
Lloyd, let me Margie out there, friend of mine. She says she gets a lot of compliments on these Be Contagious shirts.
I like that.
Yeah, we can be contagious with kindness.
Is that a bio?
Yeah, exactly. That's that biohazard sign.
Biohazard. Yeah. I was like,
so
okay.
This is a good one.
All right.
But let me show you how smart my parents were. My three older brothers, Reggie, Roy, and Rudy, because you're talking about speaking, musicians who can speak.
Right.
My parents knew what 5 black boys were facing. Reggie was born in the Reggie, Roy, and Rudy are all born in the mid-50s, and me in the mid-64, into 64. So our parents knew what we were facing. So now I did not understand this at all as a kid. But my 3 older brothers had to enter into speaking competitions where they write speeches. Mom would help them write speeches.
Wow.
And the speeches had to be about something. I mean, it had to be about character and uplifting. They had to memorize them and then go speak in public and be able to perform this. And now Roy was really good. Roy got a whole lot of trophies. It was either Reggie or Rudy who couldn't do it without breaking out and laughing, right? But I didn't understand that. Now Joseph and I, the younger two, never had to do it, but now I get it.
Yeah,
get it, because there's a way to speak in the hood, there's another way to speak in public.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? As much as I love Obama, as a president, we don't really want to hear him 100% of the time speak like he's in the hood of Chicago.
Right.
Facts.
We want to know that that's still there.
That's true.
Right? To address the world, you got to know how to speak. And our parents were instilling that in us as little kids. I didn't get it until I had my own kid. Well, there's a whole lot of stuff I didn't get till I had my own kids.
Sure.
But now I see how smart they are. And I'm literally working on a book on my parents' quotes. Like a lot of people now know the one about, what does the world need with another, good musician. There are a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I'm interviewing my brothers because they were around longer than me, and I'm getting the ones they remember, and I'm getting their thoughts about what they meant. And it's just going to be in a little coffee table book, but that's going to be one that everybody needs because my parents were so wise, and they had to be to live through those times, fight in wars, no electricity, all that stuff.
Well, one of the things we've been talking about on this show is having a family, some family-based shows like that where we get we had a young lady on, Allison Ray Lawson. She was on another show that we have called Uncorked Wine, and she talked about her family, and her dad was an entrepreneur and her mom's real estate, but that's what shaped her into becoming what she become. We need to definitely I'd love to bring you and your brothers back on and share some of those life lessons with all of us, because we all need that. And I think I think it's so important to drive home that sense of family that we have, but the world, and sometimes even, I hate to say it, but my brethren, even in the media, we don't do a good job of making the world think that family still really does exist. And it does. It not only does it exist, but it is as strong as it's ever been. But we spend so much time on the negative aspects of our society that we don't really talk about it as much. But man, I would love to get you guys on and just have that family conversation.
Yeah.
And let, just reminisce and talk about the similarities and how the character building and how it all just helped you become who you guys have become today.
Yeah. That would be a really good one because out of the five brothers, a lot of people don't know my brother Rudy because he passed away too young.
Okay.
I'm the one that gets a lot of the attention and the credit.
Yeah.
But my brothers have always made it that way. When I was a little kid, they put me out front. Reggie would teach me routines that would make the audience go crazy. They've always, instead of beating me up because I was the littlest, they held me up on their shoulders because I was the youngest, right?
Yeah.
And they still do it. So the real story, now people know my story, but the real story is my brothers.
Yeah, we got to have that show.
That's the real story.
Yeah.
I was the product of them. But the real story is them. You got to think about this. Reggie was teaching me to play bass. And I say 2 years old because that's a little more believable. But I was born into the band, right?
Right.
And around 2 years old, this is as far back as I can remember of him showing me stuff at 2. By the time I'm 5, okay, and this is not to brag on me, I'm bragging on my brothers. By the time I'm 5, Joseph is 8. We're on tour as the opening band for Curtis Mayfield's Superfly tour on the West Coast. We lived in Sacramento, so we did the West Coast.
Wow.
Right? Now think about this. If Reggie's teaching me and I'm 2, Reggie's only 10. Okay. My oldest brother's only 8 years older than me. He's 10 years old. He taught me in a few short years to be good enough to be on a major tour. At the same time, he's teaching Joseph. He's teaching Joseph. Joseph was 5. He taught Joseph to play keys. So Joseph's 8. We're on tour. But Reggie's only 10. Who's teaching Reggie?
Right. I'm thinking, as I'm listening to this story, I'm like, okay, well, where's Reggie getting all this knowledge from?
Right. That's the unanswered question. And you ask him about it. You ask him about it, and he'll just say, well, Victor was a natural. He'll point it back. Or Joe is already good. He'll point it back. He won't answer that question. That's the genius. Roy told himself. Rudy was playing 2 saxophones when we're opening.
Right.
He's playing a C melody and an alto. So you got a young teenager playing 2. He was our horn section. Right. So I get the credit and I'll take it. But I'm always going to point the finger back at them because that's the real genius.
Oh, you got to book that one for us. Let's get that done quickly because
make it happen.
we need to do it. Matter of fact, that we might open the year with that one. Just like make January our family month and open the year with that, and just give you guys time to pull your thoughts together, but and coordinate schedules. Well, man, that's incredible, man. That is so incredible.
Better make it a long show.
Listen,
I was going to say the same thing. I was
Right. The beauty of owning your own company is you can make it as long as you want.
I like it. That's what I tell people at our camp. They start asking about. So I say, we own the place. We can do what we want.
That's it. I want to give a shout out to everybody that has come through here today, man. This is incredible. I guess we can officially say we've gone international now,
right?
Because we got a lot of people pulling up all over the world today. Shout out to Colombia. Shout out to who else? Nigeria is in the building. We just got so many wonderful. Singapore is in the building. So we just got a lot of people. I guess that Victor Wooten reach is pretty nice. We appreciate that so much. And we hope you guys stick around and become noise makers on the page as well. We got a lot of great content like this every single day. But we will admit that we have an incredibly special person here with us today. Vic, what are some parting words that you'd like to leave with the peoples as you head on into your rest of your day?
Sure. I'll leave it with something is to say that, we're living in special times, but the truth is every time is special.
Yeah.
Again, it's up to us to see that. And yes, we do have it easier in relationship to how our parents and their parents had it. So we need to remember that. It doesn't mean that these times aren't hard, but they're better than what at least my parents went through. But I want you to think about this is we won't get through this time if we only we won't get through this time to me as good as we can if we only focus on where we aren't. I wish I can't wait till I can play another show. I wish live music was back. I wish, right? This is our chance to focus on where we are.
Yeah.
And if we can make where we are better, and I mean at every moment, you wake up, make your bed. If there's garbage on the floor, pick it up. Make where we are better. And life will recognize that and say, this is a person that's trying. And another quote of my mom would say, if you treat life right, life will treat you right. Right? Life is not human, but it's a living entity. It's a force. You can call it God. You can call it the universe. Doesn't matter what you call it. It's still there and it's wanting to work for you. But it's like a genie in a bottle that will answer every wish you have. And a lot of our wishes aren't good. Right? So we need to really be aware of where we stand, where we sit. And now we have the opportunity to make things better. Okay? Where we were was comfortable, but not enough. Women need to be treated better. People of color need to be treated better. Your enemy needs to be treated and seen better. So coming back to normal should not be our goal.
Right.
Normal got us here. We need to come back better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
And you do it by taking care of what's happening right now. And government, don't matter which side you're on, is showing us what we need to work on.
Yeah.
It's making it clear. It's making it real clear. So let's work on it. And it starts here. Right? Don't worry about, like trying to figure out who you're going to vote for and you can't even get along with your wife.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or your next door neighbor. It starts here, or yourself.
Yeah.
Right? I want to play a show, but my brain's telling me I'm not good enough. Right? So we can't even get along with our own thought. It starts right now, and we have nothing but time to make it better. And if we work on ourselves, like Chuck says, if I'm happy when I play, everybody else is happy. If we can make ourselves better, right? We're cleaning off our own camera lens. Life has to be better. But we can only do our part. I don't need you to do my part. Get off of Facebook and stop telling me how to do my part. Do your own part. That's what life is telling us right now.
Yes.
We do our part, and we have to come back better.
Yeah.
Not back to normal, better. And we have the opportunity, and our kids deserve it. Okay?
Yeah.
We are just renting this earth
Mm.
from our children's future. Okay? We got to turn it over to them, and we need to leave it better than we found.
Listen, I don't know if I want. I don't think I want to give any party words today. That's pretty good. I don't know if I have anything else to add to that.
Well, I want to ask is you said you're finishing a book, or you finished the book?
Well, I just finished a book, but the book on my parents' quotes is in the works right now. So I wrote the first book I wrote is called The Music Lesson.
Right.
And so it's a book that's like our camp, based off of the camp. It's teaching life, but through music. And I did it as fiction. So I don't have to defend any of it because none of it happened, right?
Okay.
But it's about a teacher and a student, right? And the lessons are real, even though the story may not be. It might, but it may not be. But I don't have to defend it, whether it is or not.
Yeah.
But the lessons are real, and it's about life through music, or either music through life. It's up to you. But so I did that book, came out in 2008, and I just finished the sequel to that one, and that'll come out February 2nd. And so now that book is written and done and turned in, I'm working on the one with my parents' quotes now. That's next.
Awesome.
Wow.
And that's an easy one because my brothers are going to help me on that. That's
Before we go on to Unc's comments as well. But the camps, are they? So how are you managing that during? I didn't get a chance to ask you how you're managing that during this pandemic. How's that working?
Yes, we did 4 or 5, I think 5 camps online. We did it just like we're doing here.
Yeah.
And the first one we do a camp every year called The Spirit of Music, which it gets into music in the way we were talking about. Not so much how to play, but more of why to play. And how to really use music as medicine, knowing that the people are there receiving it. How can you use it? What can you do with it? Wow. And so we do a 5-day camp about that. And we've done that for about 10 or 11 years. So we started our year with a free version of that camp, but only for people who had been before.
Gotcha.
That camp is so different. I need to know you before we turn this information over. So we did it for free, for one, just to see, can we do it? Right. And that camp in my mind, was the hardest camp to try to get this information across through a screen where I can't see and really feel you. You know, I didn't think I could, but I found out, yeah, we can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Once we were successful with that camp, we were like, okay, then we open the rest of them up to the public. But every camp we do is a different topic. And we just did one. It's maybe been a month now, maybe 3 weeks ago, we did a camp that was called The ABCs of Gigging, Touring, and Management.
Oh, wow.
And, I wanted to, because a lot of us realize musicians aren't working, but we forget about neither are the booking agents, neither are the tour managers, neither is my manager. What's my crew doing? Right? So I wanted to do a camp centered around what they do.
Yeah.
Let them teach it. So I had my booking agent, my manager, my touring manager, I had my crew, and we looked at it all about, so that we can, when we come back to playing again, whatever level you think you're on, you're going to be better at it if you use this information. So that was the last one we just did.
How can people, do they just go to victorwooten.com, or victorwooten.com has all the information?
That's the easy way, victorwooten.com. But if you want to go directly to the camp page, it's Vix Camp, VIXCAMPS.com, VixCamps.com, and you'll see all the camps. And we don't have anything on the okay, yeah, Vix Camps, and we'll be doing more online. We just don't have anything scheduled yet, but it's coming. That's it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
problem. No problem.
Some questions in the noisemakers want to know, where can they purchase your books?
My website, for one. There's also a Vix merch, VIXMERCH, and you can find all of it at my website. Thank you, Margie. Thank you, Margie. Margie's a musician herself. But yeah, there's a now, since people aren't buying music, we have to find other ways to make our income, and the music might bring people there.
Yeah.
But I love teaching. I love helping people. But the book is there. But you can also get the book anywhere they sell books. There's an audio version if you want to hear the book audio. It has a lot of music on it. The Flecktones are on it.
Wow.
Chuck
you reading the book?
Well, I'm only one of the characters, which is the main character, the narrator, who is the student. So I'm the narrator and the student.
Oh.
I also have a character named Uncle Clyde, who's an old black man, just wise, wisdom, and he's homeless, but he does it on. He lives homeless on purpose for a reason. And in the second book, you kind of find out why. But the main reason he said is that people leave you alone if you're homeless.
Oh, wow.
But you find out, well, I'm only going to the second book, but
Yeah.
But Chuck reads the voice of Uncle Clyde, Chuck Rainey.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
And so there's a new book coming out, and I'm working on the audio book for that. And that's why I had to get into Texas real quick and get Chuck to read his parts. And then I inserting all the voices. But you can download it on any place, iTunes. You can get the audio book, iBooks, Audible.com, wherever they sell books, Amazon.
Yeah.
Or you can go to my website, VictorWooten.com or VixMerch.com, and check it out.
Listen, go get everything. Noisemakers, go get everything. Blow his mind and start grabbing anything, everything. And the music is everywhere. I was going to list some of the stuff, but it's so much music. I'm like, okay, it's Victor Wooten. Just type in Victor Wooten and go buy everything. Everything is good. It's such an honor. Such an honor. I know you got some things you want to say. Go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
No, I don't have anything to say. I love to listen. I love to listen to Vic. I love listening to Reggie. I love the brothers. I love you guys, period, man. And I really appreciate you coming on today. I'm looking forward to us doing something in the future together again. And that's, the main thing is to just remember to love somebody.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we've kind of fell off track here in our country, especially with the messaging that we receive over the media, is we've forgotten to love people. So just remember to love somebody. Love yourself first. Learn how to love yourself deeply, and then love somebody else. And that's it for me.
No, I think that's good. Chuck said it, and I think we heard it, but I don't think we really heard it when he said, "When I love the music and I'm having a good time,
Yeah,
that's where I need to be." And we really underestimate how powerful of a statement that is, because guys, I'm having a good time now, and all people have benefited from it. You know what I mean? So that's how it is. That's how it works. When you take care of yourself, it's amazing how that has an effect on other people. The band wants to let you know, Vic, he's got some popcorn for you whenever you're ready. Just hit him up on IG. LeBand, tell us where is it LeBand Burton or is it Popcorn World on IG? Let us know. But listen, you're gonna be blown away by this popcorn. Doing what is it? Doing the world a flavor.
One flavor at a time.
See, we had it earlier.
Oh, one thing, Vic.
Yeah.
I gotta order, real talk. Shakes Cakes coming your way. Shakes Cakes coming your way, baby.
Shakes Cakes.
No, wait a minute. I got a Shakes Cake. Now what's going on?
I'm just saying, this is breaking news.
Man, you didn't know?
We gonna have to shake if we don't
I done been over there many Thanksgiving and I ain't never heard nothing about Shakes Cake.
really cook.
I know he can burn up the kitchen. Now
There it is. Doing the world of flavor. There it is, right there.
Yeah, doing the world of flavor. Doing the world of flavor. That's the popcorn company.
I love it. Doing the world of flavor.
Doing the world of flavor. So,
oh my gosh, the flavors are unbelievable,
man. Blow your way. It's a really, really amazing website. Yes, Corey. Shakes Cake. Understand? All right. Love everybody who has come in today. Again, please like, follow, share this to as many people as you love. And love is the key word I'm using there. Many people that you love, you really love them. Share this video. I guarantee you it'll put a smile on their face today.
Mm-hmm.
That's so much wisdom. Vic, we're gonna have you back soon. Soon. You and the brothers. We're gonna have you all back.
Let's do it.
Let's make that happen, man. I can't wait to hear the rest of the story. As that Paul Harvey, was that old Paul Harvey?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm old, man. I just showed my age just now. So
everybody know that this like they can't believe they missed it, that it'll be available online. Today's show, they're like,
yeah,
I'm tuning in, I missed it.
Listen, it'll be online today. If you don't get a chance to see it, you can go to anywhere podcasts are heard, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you can find Podchaser, wherever podcasts are heard, you can go listen to this podcast. So, but we love the visual aspect right here on the Noisemakers page. We have a lot of fun here, just being able to show you the interaction as well. Oh, okay, there it is. At Phone Snob. That's an interesting Instagram. I didn't see that one coming. Okay.
Oh, I didn't see that happening.
Yeah, there he is. Okay, so LeBaron, check out that. Get your popcorn, Victor. Tell us what you think about it too, man.
Yeah.
I already know what I think about hearing you all.
Oh my gosh, we waiting on our delivery. Victor, we finna get some Captain Crunch popcorn.
Really?
Bacon and cheddar, crab cake.
Whoa, my
You understand? It's like 250. No, he said 400 flavors.
It's 400. It's
Wow.
from the site, but it's 400 total.
Wow. Man.
Yeah.
Excited.
Look, everybody putting in bids for Shakes Cakes now. Look at that. Shakes Cakes is trending right now on page. It's funny.
Well, here's the thing, man. I used to make them for the band. So whoever we were playing with, I would make a batch for the band, and they started kind of getting popular. I was trying to do like a little franchise thing to where I would launch them, and we hit some snags in the branding, but we're working through that. So I still send out a batch. You know, I make a few batches every so often, and Victor's always on my list, but I haven't been able to get to him lately. So I want to make sure you know they're coming. And what it is I make this. It's not a Reese's cup. To me, it's a lot better because it's all natural ingredients, and we make various varieties. So I'll get you. We'll get you some, and hopefully Vic can help me. Let's let a few other people know about it.
Yeah, I just gotta eat a few of them first. I gotta check out the flavor. You gotta know what you're selling. So I gotta
Right.
That is hilarious. Alan said, "Can you pretend that the Uncorked Wine Crew is a band?" Yeah,
That is funny.
if you're not busy on a Saturday night, man, pull up for Uncorked Wine. I promise you, you will have a blast. We have so much fun on that show Saturday nights. I guess where you are, that would be 9 p.m. So it's right. Yeah. We just have a good time on that show. It's a lot of fun. Corey said he coming through. Just want to let you know, Shake. Just you get a knock on your door.
Okay.
Hey, Kate. All right. So much, man. We got so much to do. Listen, tonight, just one quick reminder. We got the 5 is going to be on at 6 p.m. tonight. So tune in for the sports show tonight. We're going to have a good time with that.
How about them Cowboys?
See. He's really trolling these days, y'all. Trolling hard, but I'm going to troll a little bit too because, I'm a Giants fan. That's how we do. So there you go. And then, of course, me and Charlie Ward will be on tonight at 7:30 with the Believe in the ACC show. Huge weekend in the ACC. So we're going to talk about that as well tonight. So,
hey, can I shout out Soul Church.
Oh,
a lot of people that attend Soul Church came on today, and we really appreciate you guys coming out. So if you're not doing anything Sunday, not going to church anywhere, Soul Church, 1:30 on Facebook.
Yeah.
Soul Church is the way to go. Find Shake Anderson.
They keep on asking about the shake cakes.
We're talking about shake cakes tomorrow. We gotta let Victor go. Love you guys. We appreciate y'all so much. And like we always say when we walk out the door, we out there.
We out this piece.
Man, we sure had a good time today, and we appreciate you joining us for the ride. Tune in every day on the Believe Podcast Network and wherever podcasts can be found, like Spotify, iTunes, and Apple Music, wherever podcasts can be found. Also, you can visit us on Facebook on the NOIZ Makers page. That's the NOIZ, NOIZ Makers page. Or on YouTube on the NOIZ Media Entertainment channel. NOIZ, NOIZ Media Entertainment. Well, we'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, keep making noise.